Could it get louder? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Suzanne. I'm the music director here, and I have your announcements. Today is the annual budget meeting. Registration begins at noon after service. Once everyone's registered, the meeting starts at 12:30. Only members can vote. That's a privilege of being a member here. And you can vote either in person or with a proxy form. I imagine there will be proxies still available today. Yes, if you're not able to stay, you can have someone take your proxy and vote for you. You can follow on Zoom, but you can't vote on Zoom. So that's today after service. Music. Spirit choir rehearsals happen every Monday, 7 to 9. We start a new session tomorrow. So if you're interested in joining the choir, please come talk to me following the service today. Yoga happens every Wednesday night from 7:30 to 9, led by Christina, who's in the soprano section. You can check the website calendar for dates. Shows run in our art galleries until February 18th. Beloved Community, Flowers in Winter on this side, and Sitting with Abstraction on this side. We'll put the lights up after service. You can go up and check out the paintings today or anytime during the week. A day-long meditation retreat is happening with Melina Bondi on February 3rd. That's this Saturday, and Melina is also speaking on Sunday morning at our service. This is suitable for new and experienced practitioners. All are welcome to attend. Could we flip back, please? Thank you. To celebrate Black History Month, Don Heights member and music director Sheila White will be presenting The Letters, Postmark Prejudice in Black and White. That's on Sunday after service from 12:30 to 2. Please speak to Moira in our soprano section to pre-registered because we need to know numbers to make sure that this event can happen. The DMC, Danforth Multi-Faith Commons, which we are a part, is offering a forum on youth mental health on February 6th at 7 p.m. Social justice speaker event, right, and that's going to be in East End United Sanctuary, which is at the front of the building, and you can speak with Nancy. Is Nancy here? You can talk to Laura about the Youth Mental Health Forum. Games Night returns on February 17th. That's a Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. Join your fellow congregants for an evening of fun. You can bring your own games, or we have some here, and that's organized by Gord in the bass section. Choir, you are so active in the congregation. That's wonderful. Talent Night is back, and we are having one this Saturday at 7:30. That's for all talents, performing talents, and all ages. And also in February is a circle music session on February 18th. That's a Sunday from 3 to 5, facilitated by Jane Lewis, who's in Brazil learning some more circle music stuff right now, and myself. This is an improvised singing circle. You don't need any experience or any practice. You just come up and have some fun with us. Do you get our Monday weekly email, which includes all of the activities that I'm announcing going on at Neighborhood? If not, and you would like to receive our email once a week, contact Hala in our office at office@nuc.ca, and she will add you to the mailing list. Question to the community. This question will get asked later in the service, so we put in the announcement so you have some time to think about it. What gets in the way of being hospitable? Have a think about that. We'll be asking for your ideas about that a little bit later. And as I mentioned, next Sunday, our speaker will be Melina Bondi, speaking on power and patience in beloved community. Next week begins our February theme of beloved community. I will be providing music along with member Tony Rappaport, and our service weaver will be Allison Kabayama.
Good morning and welcome, you beautiful life forces, you. Those of you in the sanctuary and also those of you who are joining us visually or virtually. My name is Debb Bertazzon, and as always, it's a pleasure to be your service weaver this morning. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I constantly feel like I'm on the go. Anybody else feel that? Yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, during a check-in that when I was at a meeting a couple of weekends ago here, the word overextended kept coming up. And I think that that's common these days. So let's start our service by grounding ourselves. We are in choice. We choose to be here, some of us out of commitment to give to the community, but also to receive the gift that's being offered and to recharge as we end and begin a new week. So let's breathe and sound 3 deep breaths together to help us open our hearts, minds, and spirits so that we can receive the gifts that feed us. Okay, in through our nose and out through our mouth. And now that we've grounded, let's create and then enter sacred space. And to assist us in bringing us to that threshold moment, I invite you to join me in reciting Neighborhood's invocation. Let us cast a circle of a sacred space here. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Sarah Downing. Come on up, Sarah. And after she lights it, please join in singing with the choir and Suzanne, our chalice lighting song.
Our prelude this morning is a piece called Show Us How to Love with the great combo of Lindy Thompson on lyrics and Mark Miller. We've done some of his pieces here before. And I just like this explanation. Thompson's poetry compels communities of faith to respond to hatred and injustice with a singular prayer. Show us how to love. And thanks to Gord in the bass section who's taking the solo on this today.
Thank you, Spirit Choir. You know, I could tell, like you were singing that with love. Like I got the vibe. So thank you. Well, here we are today. Today and always, let us not forget that this congregational building and many of the homes from that some of our folks on Zoom are zooming in from are on the traditional land and territories of the Wendat, the Anishinaabe, the Mississauga, and the Haudenosaunee nations. I offer my gratitude to all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people for their teachings about Mother Earth, relations, and community. Please take a moment to reflect about the land and who our previous owners were and continue to be, the land that you're sitting on, wherever you are. Thank you. And thank you for gathering here today at our neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. Our musical director, who you already met, is Suzanne Mazares. She and our wonderful Spirit Choir, who you've also sort of already met, will be providing us with music guaranteed to move. You can tell it already started, right? Our Director of Lifespan Learning is Julia Thompson, who's on her well-deserved day off. But she's singing in the choir, and she's still going to be, I know. She's still going to be offering our time for all ages. Our contract minister is the Rev Pat Trudeau, and she'll be giving the message of inspiration today. So you know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child? Well, the same could be said for planning and bringing a Sunday service to fruition. We need greeters, tech folks, coffee time prep, lifespan learning caregivers, donation counters, and more. I know I'm probably forgetting some. Oh, yeah. Thank you, me. And other than myself, although I'm already standing, if you're part of today's service team, and that's before, during, or after, please rise as you're able so that we can offer you gratitude.
Isn't everybody part of the service?
Yeah. Thank you. Here at Neighborhood, we're open to many beliefs, and we learn from many traditions. We welcome all people to our spiritual community. If you are visiting us for the first time, a special hello to you. And you're invited to stay after service for coffee time. Now, if you'd like, you can take a red mug, and that would signal us that you want to hear a little bit more about Neighborhood. And I completely understand how intimidating this can be. But trust me, we really are a kind bunch. And we're quite proud of the community we've been building. Also, our services can vary from week to week. So we encourage you to come back and sample a few more to get a better feel for who we are. For starters, our mission at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. The 8 principles of our faith, which we hold as strong values and moral guides, are hanging up in the foyer at the top of the stairs. Instead of one particular creed or dogma, you believe that what matters is not who or what you believe in, but how you live your life. Today we draw on our 3rd principle, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Our bi-monthly theme has been about being radically inclusive. And today we end the month of January and our exploration of power and discomfort with the topic of radical hospitality. So what is radical hospitality? I mean, I know what the 2 words mean, each of them, but together, I'm looking forward to hearing Rev Pat share some more light on this. In speaking about the concept, Writer, activist, and UU minister, Dr. Marilyn Sewell, frames it differently than the way it was framed in the original concept. She explores it as a spiritual practice for congregations. I'm not just talking about open doors, she says. I'm talking about opening the heart. I've been puzzled for, well, I guess the last couple of weeks at least, about how to do this both as a congregation and individually as an authentic human. I even took it to my therapy. So I started some self-reflection. Do I welcome every person, even those who, for whatever reason, on any given day, in any given moment, rub me the wrong way? No. Don't get me wrong, I'm not impolite, I'm friendly and kind, but do I go that extra mile each time with an open heart? Now, I'm a proponent of paying attention to my gut reactions. Now, notice I said reactions. I didn't say gut feelings. Reactions are different. It also helps that I'm aware someone else who has the capacity that day will pick up the ball. But as part of my covenant to this community, this congregation, I feel that I need to investigate what's going on inside me because I don't want this to become a pattern or a go-to excuse. Personally, I think I'm actually pretty good at challenging my assumptions, thinking about where they came from, and I'm open to rewriting old narratives. I have to admit, though, opening my mind is much easier than truly opening my heart. It's risky, it's vulnerable, but while practice doesn't actually make perfect, it sure does help. About 3 years ago, I was welcomed into another community that is very dear to me, that at the time seemed quite unconventional to me. Folks in this group, who I now refer to as my beloveds, were and continue to be radically hospitable. As the recipient of this truly authentic generosity, I was able to take the risk to join the community at my own pace. They created a safe container for me, and that helped me leave my comfort zone. I remember in the early days, the non-trusting, skeptic, and vulnerable part of me was chatting with some folks at one of the gatherings. I don't understand, I said. How can you love me? You don't even know me. I think you're being inauthentic. I know, I can get really heady sometimes. Based on my own baggage, though, and my own narrative about myself and others, I thought that these folks had ulterior motives. Maybe some of them did, but those that I began to trust said that they had learned how to tap into love as a starting point. Don't get me wrong, as in any group, conflict arises, big, tricky feelings come up, which we try not to ignore. But, as one of my beloveds says, always try to come back to love. Now, I remember the first time he said that to me, I was thinking, oh, brother. However, cliche as it might sound, I believe that that's the key to radical hospitality as a spiritual practice. It's sort of like finding the divine in others. It's work, though. Learning how to love and be loved, how to accept ourselves and others. And when I can't, I can't. And that's okay, especially when I need to do self-care. As a therapist, it's a good idea to do capacity checks, as we call them, a few times a day to understand the quality of care I can give to others. I highly recommend this. But again, that's the great thing about communities and congregations. It's not all on one person. I've discovered that to be in a state of love and acceptance, open-heartedness and open-mindedness, it's essential that I continue to do what I call the personal excavation work of self-love and self-generosity. After all, the way we hold others is usually, after all, the way we hold ourselves is usually the way we hold others. So the short reading that I chose for today is from songwriter Linda Thompson. And she says this: "Our uniqueness, our individuality, and our life experience molds us into fascinating beings. I hope we can embrace that. I pray we may all challenge ourselves to delve into the deepest resources of our hearts, to cultivate an atmosphere of understanding, acceptance, tolerance, and compassion. We are all in this life together." So now it's time to greet our neighbors. Let's open our hearts. And after you've greeted a few people around you, let's not forget those who've joined us virtually. So take a look at the camera back them and give a nod to our Zoomers.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Yay.
Oh, hi,
Hi,
Doug.
Doug. Hi, Dee Dee. How's Calgary?
Canceled. Our trip to Calgary was canceled because of wind, and it was too windy to fly.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Maybe another time. Nice to see you, Michelle. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, everybody. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Missed the chalice letter.
Doing some art.
Lots of people in the congregation.
Yeah, that's good.
A full house.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Hi.
Hey.
Let's sing together. Hymn number 317, "We Are Not Our Own." You can rise. It's easier to sing for some if you're standing, so feel free if you would like. Choir also. We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves
Thank you for your patience. So my name is Julia, and I would like to invite any children who would like to join us. If you feel comfortable doing that, we have some spaces in the front row here. All right, well, I will begin. Last Sunday, a group of us did a play called The Story of the Wind and the Sun. Oh, thank you. And there was a traveler, and there was a narrator, and I bet that some of you were left wondering, maybe you lost some sleep over this. I wonder what happened to the traveler. What was their story? Where were they coming from? And where did they intend to go? Well, today you will find out. Oh, so this is going to be like a one-woman show. So I'm going to be playing multiple roles. So when you see me putting on the traveler's cloak, I will be the traveler. And then the traveler is going to meet some characters who will be represented by puppets. So when I'm the puppeteer, I will take off my cloak and become the puppeteer. All right. I have been traveling for many days because I can no longer go back to my home. My home and my village were flooded. So now I must look for a new home. These people seem very kind and welcoming. And in the distance, I see what looks like a cluster of 3 villages. I wonder if these people are from the villages. And I wonder if I could make one of those villages my home. I'm kind of nervous about meeting new people, though. And how am I going to find out which village I should settle in, I should call home? Maybe I can ask some good questions. I wonder how I can do that. Oh, this looks like some kind of a information booth. I wonder what it says. Maybe there's a bell here. I'll start by ringing the bell. No. Hello? Nobody yet. Oh, there's a message here. It says, please ask your questions about our villages loudly and clearly. We will each do our best to answer them. Okay. So my questions are, how do you decide, how do you decide your laws or your rules? And what do you do if people disagree with them? I think those are good questions. Well, we have a powerful ruler who decides what is best for our village. We're not sure, though, what happened to all those people who didn't agree with our ruler. people who make big promises to make decisions that are the best for us. Sometimes we don't agree with what they decide, but we're kind of stuck with them since we voted for them.
Hello. We listen to each other so that we feel heard and valued. We discuss a lot. All this helps us to make important decisions. Sometimes we agree to disagree, but it's always respectfully and peacefully. Thank you.
I know where my new home will be. Thank you.
Throughout the service, we're exploring ways of opening our hearts. I'd like to teach you a 3-part song that we're going to sing together to open our hearts to each other and to create beautiful harmony together. Why don't we rise if you're willing and able? Just get us into our bodies a little bit more. There's 3 tunes. I'm going to teach you them all because it's fun to sing, and then we'll divide the congregation into 3 sections to get it going. So the first one sounds, I'll sing it for you through once. Open my heart, open my heart. Can we try that together? Open my heart, open my heart. One more time. Open my heart, open my heart. So, that will be the sopranos, and let's do, because there's not many folks in this group, like this kind of as a section. The middle part, which will be, was going to be this side, but we're all going to learn it now, sounds like this. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart, open my heart. One more time. Open my heart, open my heart. That's going to be for our alto section, maybe a few of you folk here and this. And our middle group, it's a line going down. It's twice as long, so let me sing it through for you before we try and repeat. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart, open my heart. Let's try it all together. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart, open my section plus the middle of the choir will be singing together. I'll bring you all in. I'm going to review all the parts. It's going to be wonderful, everyone. Once you get into it, if you feel good, I invite you to close your eyes so you can hear more the harmonies that are happening in the room. So let's start with this group in the soprano sections. Open my heart, 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 time really gently, please. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart, open my heart. Thank you.
And now that we've chanted, let's open our hearts through another kind of meditation. This will be a loving kindness meditation, or a metta-guided meditation. It's a meditation, for those of you who don't know, rooted in the Buddhist tradition. And here's how we're going to do this. I'll be reciting the words beginning with, may I be, or may you be, or may we be. And please join with me, either whispering, or you might even want to say it to yourself. In between each segment, we're going to pause a little bit so that you can contemplate what the words truly mean and try to gauge how you're feeling inside. Okay, so let's get you into a comfortable position with your feet on the ground and your hands comfortably on your lap. Some people like to close their eyes, but it's not necessary unless you're comfortable with that. There's no wrong way to do this. Now take a moment to concentrate on how your body feels. Feel each arm, each leg, your torso, your face, letting go of any tension. Now take a deep, calming breath. And here's the part where you begin to whisper or speak to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. Now, I'd like you to think of someone that may be in need of love and kindness. It might be a friend or a family member, perhaps a stranger that you've made contact with. And keeping them in mind, we will say, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be well, or may you be whole. And now visualize yourself being loving and empathetic towards many others, towards people in countries in conflict, people who are suffering in any way, including yourselves. Keep them all in your mind as you whisper or say to yourself, may we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May you all be safe. May you all have the strength to overcome your struggles. May you always be surrounded with people who love you and care for you. And then it's over. Take your time coming back to the room gently and feel the love of the world return to you. You know, a friend of mine uses metta to gauge her giving capacity that I was referring to earlier. And now, our own Rev Pat is going to give us her message of inspiration.
This morning I got on the subway. How's that? This morning I got on the subway, practicing radical hospitality. A woman walked in and I said, hello. And she said, you're not the queen. And then she went down and she walked the length of the subway train and admonished each person. What are you looking at? Who do you think you are? And then she came back to me and to the fellow behind me, a young Korean man, and she said she admonished him for being Japanese and started talking about the war. And I thought, maybe my hospitality needs to shift here. So I went and sat beside the young man, and we talked, and he said, I'm Korean. And then a police officer came over who was in civies, And I thought, this was an interesting way for us to meet today. Our focus today is radical hospitality. Radical means out of the ordinary. Radical hospitality. What would it mean to receive someone, a stranger, with a presence that goes beyond polite, and to receive them with generosity? Out of the ordinary? I think about that. Out of the ordinary? Sometimes it seems that we as a society have set the bar so low for being just hospitable, so low that what we call radical hospitality is really just being a decent human being. What would it mean to open our hearts as well as our doors to new people, as Deb mentioned? What would it mean to see the divine in another? In 2015, I was listening to a sermon on radical hospitality given by Reverend David Herndon at Pittsburgh First. We were on sabbatical. He read from a book entitled Radical Hospitality, Benedict's Way of Love, by Reverend Dan Homan and Lonnie Collins Pratt. I thought, that name sounds familiar. Dan Homan. Of all the stories in the book, the one story the minister chose to tell was this. While in Toronto, Father Dan started getting involved in youth ministry. He didn't know if the kids liked him. At the end of his education, Dan returned home to Michigan for his ordination and first Mass. He was shocked and delighted when 7 cars full of teens from Toronto showed up to celebrate his ordination. He cherished that memory. That memory was my memory. I was one of those kids. I had been one of the teenagers who came with my parents and friends in an old black Pontiac that carried 7, no seatbelts. I never knew until that moment what an impact our coming had made on him. So I phoned him up and reconnected after some 30 years, more like 35. He told me how much it meant to him that we had come to the ordination, and also what it meant to him to spend time at my family's home as a stranger far from his own home. Dan and his fellow seminarians would often call my mom up around 9 o'clock after their studies and ask if they could come over. My mom would start baking, and by the time they arrived, there were cookies, cakes, and tea on the table. She welcomed them, and there was always room for one more seminarian, one more friend at the table. It had not occurred to me that even as I had been welcomed at the monastery for visits and retreats, he had felt welcomed at our home. Dan Homan and his monastic brothers lived Benedict's way of love, so it did not surprise me that he would write a book about it. I just wished that I had read it earlier. Hospitality is a word with a spiritual memory and a spiritual history. Monasteries grew up around the 5th century. Strangers in need could come there for care. The first primitive hospitals began there in monasteries. Hospitable, hospice, hospital, hospitality, all from the same word, the root word meaning generous, caring, sustaining. The most famous of these monasteries was that of St. Benedict. St. Benedict's hospitality is a way of love. St. Benedict asks that we see the divine in every single person, adult and child, whom we encounter. Father Dan Homan, in his book, Radical Hospitality, Benedict's Way of Love, says that St. Benedict's hospitality is not about social grace, it's about mutual reverence. When Benedict spoke of hospitality in ancient times, he stressed the importance of welcoming the outsider, the poor, the pilgrim, in modern parlance, the refugee. The Benedictines I came to know were realists who knew they couldn't offer luxury accommodations, chocolates on the pillow, but they could offer respite. The rule of Saint Benedict has brought wisdom and comfort to believers for over 1,500 years. One of its main practices is listening, being really present for other human beings. This leads naturally into hospitality, which in monasteries has meant giving guests the space to pray and to rest, to enter into silence, and to speak in intimate terms about their journey of faith. In these fearful times, many people are consciously closing down in the face of strangers. Terrorism and wars, crimes and violence have made everyone feel more insecure and unprotected, even those who live in relatively safe spaces. The media keeps upping the ante of fear with stories about possible calamities on the horizon. That is why the spiritual practice of hospitality is now more important than ever. It's an antidote to fear and despair. As the authors of the book note, fear is a thief. Fear is a thief that will steal away your peace of mind, and that's a lot to lose. But it also hijacks relationships, keeping us sealed up in our plastic world with a fragile sense of security. We were living in the inner city of Pittsburgh at the time of 9/11. After 9/11, people were talking a lot about stranger danger. My son was 4, and I responded that my son was not unprotected. We protected him. We were with him, or he was with his caregivers. The warning persists in different forms that all say, beware of strangers or anyone new. As parents, we chose to live in an environment that offered opportunities to encounter and understand people so different from us. There was one woman who was on the street, lived on the street, and screamed at everyone who got within a few feet of her. But when Donovan came along, she would greet him, and she would greet me as his mother. The rough types we were warned against often showed a soft spot for an outspoken little kid who said hi to everyone. We need connection. We need connection and acceptance as much as we need safety. Hospitality is often presented as the purview of people who are good at it. The extrovert, the natural host, the recruiter, the politician, the greeter at Walmart. Although, I've got to be frank, I'm finding the greeting at Walmart has slipped a little. So, we do not need to have a flair for hospitality, like the Martha Stewarts of the world. It is something we do because it is seen as something we have to do. Sorry, I lost my place. Or something we have to do. Sometimes it just means saying hello and asking about the other person. It may be a smile, or making a space for someone on the TTC, or it may be something that happens even on a day when we don't feel like it. Hospitality is a spiritual practice. When people are asked to see hospitality as a spiritual practice, they often ask, how do we begin? How do you do it? There are manuals and books and guides that help, but they will not tell us what is right for us. It starts with accepting ourselves. In our lives, we meet people who are sometimes difficult to accept and are challenged. We are challenged to come to terms with them. If we have accepted the other within ourselves, it's a lot easier to accept that which is alien in strangers. I'm inclined toward a practice of meditation or prayer that includes some compassion for oneself. Imagine a practice where you look in the mirror each morning, each day, regardless of how you look that morning, and greet yourself as you would a beloved friend. Good morning, beautiful. How you doing? What an asset you are to this beloved and broken world. Look at you. What do you need today? See the beauty in yourself and greet your whole self, even the worries, the flaws, and disappointments. The other spiritual practice that I do every day is that I say hello to 10 people. It doesn't always go well, but I get about 9 out of 10 who say hello, and sometimes a conversation ensues. This poem resonates with me, and I sure hope it will with you too. It's called The Guest House. This being, human, is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. That guest may be clearing you out for some new delight, the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. You know this poem. This is Rumi, from the Essential Rumi. I also like the poem Love After Love by Derek Walcott. Accept the stranger within, then you are ready to greet the day and all the guests who come your way, either internally or externally in the form of other people. Radical hospitality means going beyond our comfort zone in welcoming the stranger. It means looking deeper into the eyes of a stranger and seeing the divine, or just the spark that's there. That is part of the spiritual practice. It does not mean being artificially friendly or putting oneself at risk of exploitation. We still need boundaries and privacy. The authors of the book, Radical Hospitality, discuss the ways in which boundaries can be useful. Boundaries allow us to give more to others, not less. Boundaries do not exclude the other. In fact, if you become a person with actual boundaries, you are better able to give to other people because you do not feel diminished by them. Imagine. Giving is a joy because you want to give and not because someone has manipulated you and you gave in. It's not a capitulation. So we don't necessarily have our friends and relatives live with us. We can't always accommodate, but we can be kind. Being open to others does not mean we lose our personal and professional boundaries. There are times when we cannot accommodate another, but we still can be generous. Radical hospitality is not about being politically correct or even maintaining a certain moral standard. It's not about being something other than we are. It's a spiritual practice. It's about being present to another, who is so different from you that you don't even know where to begin. It can be awkward. I have stopped asking young people about their tattoos or commenting on their clothing or their clothing messages or their hair. Perhaps my retro presentation is just as strange, but I just simply ask, how are you? How's your week going? Which is a way of saying, tell me about yourself. In theory, it's about meeting people where they are. It's about learning together. We're all works in progress, aren't we? To be more specific to this community, neighborhood, how do we practice radical hospitality as a faith community? Radical hospitality sounds good, it rolls off the tongue, but it's not always easy. We may not feel like it, or we may want desperately to be with people we know and with whom we have tested the waters. We may feel like we just don't have the bandwidth that day. As Unitarians, we are committed to being a welcoming community. We say we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all, and yet we are human beings and we have the same challenges that all human beings have. We feel more comfortable when we're with people we know. We come to this space and we gravitate to the people we know. We feel less comfortable when we are with people who have different ideas and different interests, perhaps different cultural assumptions. Tribalism is strong, and we need look no further than our own congregational life. At Neighborhood, I believe we do extend our hospitality to all, even while setting boundaries and maintaining an environment where we can all participate. If you're coming new today, what a great day to be here. Neighborhood is often the place where people go when they have not felt welcomed in more traditional settings. I remember being in traditional settings in different cities with my little kid who was so energetic and really just wanted to wrestle with other boys. And I remember thinking, oh, will I be accepted here? Will we be accepted? I believe we do a good job of being mindful and open. We have fantastic music. We can be more hospitable. We have many things here that attract people and draw people. We can be more hospitable by making sure that we follow up when someone makes an inquiry, that we listen and learn from new folks. I can do better, personally, by being more available after services instead of being busy. There will be an information session followed by an orientation on Sunday, February 25th, for newcomers, new and newish people, and a joining ceremony on April 28th, Sunday. More information will be available as the weeks go on. Radical hospitality is about putting our own assumptions up for examination. This is the heart of Unitarian Universalism. No one claims to know the truth, but we know the way to get closer to the truth is to gather as a congregation and try to figure it out together. New people will bring new ideas and new skills. Their presence is a gift. What do we offer? What are our limitations? What's in it for us? What is the gift for us? At Neighborhood, we are building beloved community together with the people who are here and the people who are showing up. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Are we in transition? Yes, we are. Is it scary and unsettling? You bet it is. Will we lose some people along the way? Probably. We do have the people and the will. We have the heart to grow as a community of love where all feel welcome. New people are showing up. Just look around. Let us open our doors and open our hearts in this great adventure called Neighborhood. Thank you.
You know, as Weaver, I think I'm going to have to make a judgment call. I'm aware of the time, and we have the budget meeting, so I think we're going to skip the question for the community today. And, okay, thanks. And we're going to move along to the offertory. So it's that time. Sharing of ourselves is part of every faith. Volunteer efforts are essential, but salaries are paid and programs are created through your contributions. Members at Neighborhood choose a variety of ways to give, either through offerings in the basket, predated checks, e-transfers, and automatic withdrawals. If you're online, please use the link displayed on the screen, which leads to our donation page. And in all ways, we thank you for your generosity. So the greeters will pass the baskets for those who choose to give in that way as we listen to our spirit choir.
All Our offering music today is a piece of music by Reverend Lynn Harrison, who was here speaking last week, based on various Jewish texts.
If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found home here, if you've known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of gratitude for the common life as we build the common good.
Let's rise to sing our closing hymn, number 323, Break Not the Circle.
Thank you, Spirit Choir. As is our tradition here at Neighborhood, let's form something resembling a circle, as we just sang about. You can either take your neighbor's hand or touch their shoulder or link elbows, connecting physically and spiritually, as Rev Pat gives the closing blessing. And don't forget... Oh, chalice, I always do that. Doi. Pat always says we will make 3 mistakes. So I'd like to call Sarah back to extinguish the chalice. And to be sure that we are being inclusive after Pat gives her closing words, let's make sure we turn to the camera and give a nod or a namaste, which means I salute the spirit within you.
Let mutual love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers. For by doing that, some have entertained angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13, 1-2.
Our service is ended. Please go in peace.